24th meeting of Benton Harbor Planning Commission. City Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Adams,
Present.
Commissioner Archibald, Commissioner Bell, Commissioner Henry,
Present.
Commissioner Hensel,
Present.
Commissioner Marshall, Assistant Manager Little,
Here.
Mayor Mohammed, Chairman Reed.
Here.
You have a quorum.
This time I'd like to call your attention to the agenda. Are there any additions, omissions, or changes? Hearing none, can I get a motion for the approval?
So moved. Second.
Support.
Motion is made by Commissioner Hensel, supported by Commissioner Adams. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Hensel,
Yes.
Assistant Manager Little,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams.
Okay, now what do I do? Abstain?
That's just the agenda.
Abstain.
Oh, you can vote on the
Put it
agenda.
the agenda.
It's for the agenda, not the minutes. Oh, yes, yes.
Chairman Reed,
Yes.
motion carried.
At this time, we are looking at the approval of the minutes for the January the 9th meeting of 2024. Were there any changes, additions, or deletions? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Yes, motion to approve by Commissioner Adams, supported by
Support.
Commissioner Henry. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Hensel,
Yes.
Assistant Manager Little,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams,
Abstain.
Chairman Reed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to open the meeting up for public comment. Please limit your comments, 3 minutes. Any public comments? Okay, the meeting is closed for public comments. We'll move on to new business. Director Little, did you want to give us,
Yes, sir, I would. We have before us tonight for review the site plan on corner of Wall Street. Just wanted to mention so that everyone's aware. This first came to us quite a long time ago when Mr. Nearpath was here. And as you know, we didn't get a lot of documentation back in that period. So they brought the complete package to us this evening, and basically the changes are that they're adding 75 square feet per apartment, and they're adding balconies to it. And developers are here to answer any questions that you have. And I have to apologize for you not getting a copy of these earlier. I got them last week, and I got a hold of Maurice, and he called to try to see if he could get people he was going to run it by and deliver to their homes, but he didn't get anybody, and so we never got them out. But in any event, we'll take the time to answer any questions you have. I'm sure the developers can. And we have here our new building official, Todd, they've completed doing their review and should be able to answer anything you want.
we have someone to present the application, answer questions.
Do you want to go ahead? Yes,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So this is being revised.
Yeah, this is a revision of the previously approved plan as we are moving it towards, again, my name is Bob James and I'm going to be part of it as well.
It sounds vaguely familiar. I would think I was co-chair of economic development.
Yes, it was on a TV call
Yeah, it was during COVID.
during COVID when we were first talking about this. And this is, we've brought this a long way, and I'm working both with Mishta and with the Market Center. We've made some modifications to the previously approved site plan. We've increased the size of the
Speak into
unit.
the mic, please.
So we've made, can you hear me okay? Okay, sorry about that. We've made some modifications to the site plan that require it to be reapproved. We have, as we've moved into working towards working drawings and having this ready, reality sets in and we ended up with slightly larger unit, 75 square feet per unit. We ended up changing where the ADA units go and how those are, it just created some changes to the building, and then we added balconies to them, which caused us to need to move them back due to the setback from the right of way. And so within the packages you have, there should be a drawing that shows the previously approved and then a red line of where we're moving into or vice versa, which is which. So you see the slight variation and a slight change to the building's a little stockier and sturdier, but a little bit shorter. And that's just from the change of the layout of how the units are a little bit bigger. And some of the changes are made to it.
That's pretty much it. It's just to incorporate the balconies. So that 5 foot difference in the setback from the street is the big change. So we're now to the point where we're ready for next steps of MSHDA approval this week, actually. And so we're here seeking updated approval to accompany that.
Yeah, and the balconies will be aluminum and composite flooring, so they'll have very long lifespans. They won't have rust on them. They won't be decaying concrete or anything like that. It's stuff that's going to outlive the superbugs or the cockroaches or something it'll outlive all of us. So that would be the goal. And use materials that nobody likes rust on balconies and things like that. So these will be very long-lasting products and look nice.
Do we have any city staff reports?
I don't see,
Will you step up to the mic and identify yourself?
I'm sorry, my name is Todd Herter, I'm the building official. I have limited knowledge of the project, but what I've seen on the prints that were provided on Friday, I don't have any issue with that, with the balconies or where it's going to be situated.
I might add that Kaz, the fire marshal, sent an email indicating that they approved. Kaz, the fire marshal, sent an email to, actually sent it to me and a copy to me saying that they had completed their review and they approved.
Do you all have any questions?
I do, and I will not be bullied. I will ask my questions. Okay, the first question I have though is, and I'm not sure where this fits in with this being the plan, but I guess it's part of the planning. Because this has just come up with, it's for the initiative dollars for solar, possibility of solar to save on energy costs, to make things more energy efficient, I guess, for the residents, or yourself, who's ever paying whatever. And not only that, the rooftop, will it be, I guess I'm remembering when we did a project over here in the Arts District and there was greenery up on it was like green space or something, I don't know. Just
In working with Michigan on outdoor space and so forth, the preference was really towards the individual balconies as opposed to an active rooftop.
okay,
And so that was a little bit out of our hands in there because we actually wanted the active rooftop. You got to work with the state authorities.
right.
As far as the solar, we didn't explore it that deeply on this project. We explored it, rehab we did in the township of Country View Apartments. We explored it very deeply. And it was a really complicated payback on it to make any sense out of it, working with the Michigan Indiana Power Company. It was not, and given the size of the rooftop, this is all going to be pretty high energy efficient. We as landlords will be paying all the utilities on it.
Okay,
And what we ended up doing in the township, we've been outperforming all of our pro formas with how we have wrapped the pipes, all the different things that we've done to extend the energy efficiencies of where we were dealing with a 50-year-old property out there, and you were pretty limited as to what you could do. In that case, it was half electric, half gas. And in this case, we're gonna be all super high energy efficiency to begin with. And I think that's our better shot, as opposed to the economic return and making that work with the limited income and rents we're gonna have here with the Michigan property.
Will actually be required, or part of this is an enterprise green standard
Yeah.
build, so that's actually just a going in baseline without the solar.
thank you.
Yeah, once you have Michigan involved, you're almost mandated, you are mandated to hit that, to be pretty hardcore.
Thank you.
It indicates that we've proved this, in past. Do you recall what date or what time that was done?
I would say,
Would have been right before one of the 9% tax credit rounds.
yeah, I want to say it was 2020, but I don't know.
I was gonna say 20, no, it's not 21, it's not that long ago.
Yeah, I can't remember the date. You
Mr.
remember this a
Earl,
little?
I can't either. It was somewhere either early 22 or into 2021. And as I said, the gentleman that we had that we were working with at that time didn't, leave a good paper trail. So that's why we wanted to just kind of review everything. I understand that if once this is approved, they'll go ahead to do the final drawings with plumbing, electrical, and everything. And they're wanting to try to be in a position to pull building permits this summer to get started.
You mentioned HUD approval.
you say how?
No, you said something about HUD approval is next.
Michigan,
I'm sorry.
so this week we are going, it's a two-step process. We're going to the Michigan Loan Committee this week, which is the first step, and then it'll go to the board
Hopefully later this month.
later towards the end of the month for final approval. And at that point, we are greenlit to go into closing mode.
Quick question.
Yes.
Is this being paid for by the Michigan Strategic Funding? No?
No,
Okay, so I guess my next question would be, have we looked at, or do we have any lined up for any local workers, developers,
well, given that,
contractors?
we've done recently 2 other projects, one in the city.
So we'll be doing, as part of this, we have to do section 3, equal employment opportunity plans as part of our mission submission too, so that will 100% be a component of it.
We talked about that from the
Yeah.
beginning too, okay.
Yeah, so that's just part of what we do.
And that's always been one of our objectives anyways, on all the projects we do.
Thank you.
You indicated the other documents that are required to go with this will be done within the next week or 2, you said?
No, actually, this clears them to go to the next step, and once they've done this, they said they'll begin finalizing development of the full package that will show the electrical, plumbing, drains, all of that kind of stuff.
That's probably a minimum of 45 days away.
And see, that's not normally, you don't normally require that for your site plan approval. They will be back to you with the full package.
I think it was the mayor that had the set date for groundbreaking.
Want to make sure that we meet all of the application requirements and all the necessary documents are in place before we can actually make the decision to say, yes, we've approved this. So at this point, we have to do a conditional approval.
What would the conditions be?
That you finish all of the different documents that you say you're going to
For the
put
building?
For the permit, so.
Okay, that's fine.
and fees are paid. And that's part of the procedure that we would normally get. But in the absence of those documents, we can only assume that all the information we received so far has met all of the necessary requirements. And Mr. Little has attested to the fact that that has been done.
That's correct.
Okay. At this point, what do you commissioners have to say? Yes.
We previously have asked people who have been in the situation of being beyond a year to pay the fee,
We were just
And a
learning
new-
about that. We're doing that. We'll send payment in tomorrow.
a new application.
Yeah.
And we generally have not approved anything without that being
We
in
just
place.
learned about that. That'll be coming in tomorrow.
Okay. These drawings are just getting to me. And I believe the other commissioners, I'm not sure who had them ahead of time to look at them. And that's also an issue for us, because without being able to actually look at the drawings and time to think about how they fit or don't fit, we can't really do our job the way we're supposed to do it, according to the statutes and the ordinance. So if we're going to give you a conditional approval, so you need a conditional approval, you need an approval to get through Michigan, or do you?
I mean, even a conditional approval is like knowing that more is forthcoming. I mean, we know there's more to the process with you all, like that was our expectation from the beginning, right? So we just want to be upfront about what's the changes being made, and a conditional would certainly satisfy that, knowing again, the full drawings, payment, all those things will obviously be forthcoming once we have them completed for your review.
And I must say, we, the city, bear some fault in this, if there is fault, because the process that we had going on back at that time was a little loose, and we weren't able to find any prior documentation or anything of that nature. So,
Should be some recordings or something.
from back at that time.
I don't believe we actually saw it as a planning commission.
You did, Near Path was in here.
It wasn't, it
speaking
was,
to
Several
it.
times.
the discussion took place, the pre-application discussions took place. And we did see some drawings at that point. But a finished submittal is still not actually, we still don't have a complete submittal. So I'm not sure where we go from here.
Not back to the drawing board, I pray.
There's really no need for that, because I had and still have a copy in my office of pretty much what this is, it just minus
This is
the
what.
minus the changes.
Commissioner Henry, you want to speak?
Thank you, Chair. I've seen us give conditional approval.
If we did, we had an
We have a
approval,
letter.
we have a letter that was a form of an approval. I don't recall the specifics.
Okay, let
Excuse me,
I'm sorry.
okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to help you.
I know, I'm sorry. I know.
Okay, because we all have some fault when dragging our feet, and the project is, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I've been waiting for this project to become fruition, so to expedite and to push them along, I would suggest that we give them a conditional with the other planning, come back to us. They can't get away from bringing it back to us. And I could see this happening really fast. I just want to ask one question. Where did you extend the footage? Is it in the living room? Is it in the kitchen? How did it work itself out for apartment?
Is it the primary?
So, so what happened, I think I can remember this. So when we decided to do the balconies, the first step from the architect was to, do you want to do those innie balconies instead of the outie balconies? So that he took out 50 feet of space from the units. Commissioner didn't like that. So we had a few back and forths on these, and I think somewhere in that process is when it all had to do with the balconies. That's when all this space got added. Everything got expanded a little bit. And I don't think it was to any one particular space, but it all stemmed out of the balcony discussion.
Okay.
Does that sound about
Yeah, it was a
right?
little bit of each of the spaces, a little bit living, a little bit bedroom, a little bit of everything kind of went there.
Kind of like that. And the mixed use building, did we lose any footage, square footage on that one? I see the design changed a little bit.
The lower level changed a little bit from the unit layout, as some units on the first floor. The commercial space for the grocery space is about the same size, is it not, Andy? And a little less office space.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Chair.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
On
Commissioner.
A103, are these just different renderings, or are they just going to be some chosen from? The differentiation
The
between,
different units, those are the actual different
Okay.
units that will be part of the building. It's not an either or an option. Those are the units in the building.
thank you.
Any additional questions? We need a motion for the conditional approval.
You want to make that motion?
I make the motion that we conditionally approve for the additional, information that they share.
And I support.
Motion's made by Commissioner Henry, supported by Commissioner Adams, to giving the conditional approval to the site plan, with the condition being that you will provide all of the necessary documents and be prepared to present them at some time in the future. Most likely at the next meeting of the planning commission.
Yeah, it will, whether it's the next one or whenever your next, I don't know what your regular schedule is, but we're looking at probably 45 days or so before that full set is ready,
Tuesday,
so.
April the 2nd at 1 p.m. That's when we meet next.
we'll
Probably wouldn't be ready by then.
Yeah, maybe
Probably May.
we'll just coordinate schedules
Yeah, we'll
whenever.
try and be here with what we have at that point, whether it's 100%, but it's gonna be.
Come complete, please, sir.
Okay,
And
Yeah.
so we can approve it and you can get.
and we can move on with that
Yeah, we'll get our architect moving.
fast.
If you can't make it that day.
We'll make it to the next one.
Yeah.
Is there any more discussion? Call for the roll, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Hensel,
Yes,
Assistant Manager Little,
Yes,
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Chairman Reed.
Yes,
Motion carried.
gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to move on to old business, the monthly absence report. Commissioner Marshall, Commissioner Bell have been excused. I would also like to welcome Commissioner Adams.
Pleasure to serve.
Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to move on to commission comments. Any of the commissioners have any comments they would like to make at this time?
I have a question about the absentee. At one time, we had, I believe I read somewhere where our attorneys got involved in the process.
Yes.
And I asked myself why, because we have a strong bylaw and a strong policy and procedures that tell us exactly what we're supposed to do when we're in those kind of situations. And why are we paying our attorneys money when we already got our stuff in order?
And the commissioner that you may be referring to, his term expired. He has not attended any meetings since that, so he automatically is gone. So there was no need to go any further with the attorney.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we weren't spinning our wheels or giving away money.
Okay,
Thank you.
hopefully this is okay. All right. At this time, I would like to bring it to the attention of the commissioners is that we are required to have training, and the Planning and Zoning, Michigan Association of Planning rather, is offering courses that we can take virtually. So as soon as you have the opportunity to do so, I believe this would be an excellent opportunity to go ahead and get that training out of the way. We're gonna have a pretty busy summer, I believe. A lot of things are gonna be going on. At this time, some of this planning is going to be located in person. So as long as they can offer virtual, I would recommend that you do that. That would minimize the amount of traveling that we would have to do. And that might be a better opportunity for you to do it locally and be available. Other than that, did you all have any other comments you wanted to make? Commissioner Hensel?
Commissioner Henry has your hand up. Oh, wait.
Okay, Commissioner.
So I was wondering about, did we ever find out about line item budget for what exactly is happening with our budget, our line item? We should have something there for training. And I don't believe I got an answer, but I believe that there was a question out there, and I'll bring it back because I want to know if that's available to us, because that's what our bylaws and procedures require for us. There's got to be some money attached to that requirement, and nobody's responded to us as yet unless they called you, Chair.
Director Little, could you give us some insight?
I'm thinking there should be also, but I really don't know, since that's something that Mr. Mitchell would have handled in the past, but I will check into it. And I know we are headed toward the budget process again shortly, and we can make certain that in the upcoming situation that we provide for. I'll get with you in terms of what we, need to do.
Director Little says he'll investigate it and get back to us.
Thank you.
Commissioner Adams?
I can wait.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wondered if it would be possible, or if anyone else would be interested in trying to coordinate a virtual training so that we could be in the same room and think about what we're doing together and ask each other questions, or stop and start and hunt up things if we need to.
I think he asked the clerk, see if we can make that arrangement. I would prefer it in this building because of the clean machines for the air. I prefer it we use this building.
So is it virtual?
Assign you that job, coordinating with the members and getting back to them.
And I where the money
No, I'm
comes
talking to you.
Me? Well, I don't know. I mean, after this meeting, we can look at our calendars and pick out a day or two where we think we can get together, and hopefully the others can join us.
We're definitely capable of doing it in this room.
Okay.
We've done lots of interesting trainings.
Kick down the road a little bit. Okay. Commissioner Adams?
My question would be in regards to the question that the gentle lady of the third ward asked, as far as, funding or budget for this, board. Has this training here been paid for that was in the last budget? Oh,
I don't believe that there was a budget for planning commission training.
okay, and it is something though that's required, so.
Yes. And it is something that we have paid for.
Okay, we have paid for already. Okay, so with that being said, when we have those virtuals here or whoever comes here to train us, would that still entail us having to do some of these trainings by travel? Or will they all be here?
We're trying to avoid the travel
Okay.
part.
Good deal.
So it's basically up to you if you want to travel.
No.
Okay.
Maybe we need
Just
4
put
hours.
just put that order in.
We need 4 hours, which we could do in 2 sessions or something here.
And then we need to coordinate what specific trainings that would benefit the group if we're gonna do it all at the
As
same
a whole, yeah.
time. Okay. Appreciate that. Director?
Mr. Chairman, may I ask, how many vacancies do we have on this body?
We don't have any.
None.
Oh, we don't, okay. Because I thought he said somebody's term expired and but it was
Oh.
filled.
That-
With Commissioner Adams,
Okay.
yeah.
Right,
Oh,
that was, we filled the vacancy that occurred.
I'm sorry.
No, it, as the gentle lady said, from the third ward, it worked out. The term expired, the gentleman never came to another meeting after 4 consecutive meetings. He was automatically no longer eligible for reappointment. So no action needed to be taken.
Happy to serve.
Okay, any other comments? Not, we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Um,
Oh,
Excuse
I'm
me.
sorry,
I was debating whether I should, but I'd like to just kind of give you a little update on some other activities going on. I've been meeting with one developer that's looking to do a 30,000 square foot office building here in town. And I'm trying to guide them toward downtown here along Main Street. Not sure. We're still looking at sites. We communicated yesterday regarding what they saw that they thought they would like to explore further. And also had a couple of developers approach in the last week too about a particular property in the downtown area. In fact, Rich, I gave them your number and suggested they give you a call for information regarding the DDA's role and so forth. But I just thought I'd share that. So if these things materialize, it won't be just the first time you heard about it.
Okay.
And I guess I should also mention one other. As you know, we're putting a real push on the housing situation. I am wrapping up a deal with University of Michigan where 2 of their professors who are specialists in the area of housing are going to work with us in terms of looking at alternative approaches, incentives and things of that nature. Looking at the vacant lots that we have in terms of how they can be utilized along with incentives that are available through the state government, such as the neighborhood enterprise zone, other things of that nature. I'm asking them to examine the federal opportunity zone for how that might also be in use, because ever since I've been back here, I've noticed it's there. Nobody uses it, and it is supposed to be loaded with federal tax incentives for developers and so forth. I'm going to be asking them also to work closely with Mr. Reed, Ashley Hines regarding the efforts that they're planning on working toward trying to put together a mechanism for low-income residents to engage in homeownership also. But we want to try and get that moving as soon as we can, because again, the monies that we're using out here or that is available for us to pursue won't be there forever. I just got reminded about 2 hours ago on something that's going on in the city utilizing somebody that came to the state of those dates again, has to be committed by the end of this year and spent by the end of 2026. So if we're gonna get some things done, we've got to put on an all-out press to get it done.
If I may. So that it doesn't fall on another deaf ear. I'm aware of those, a lot of this funding has a sunset date.
Yeah.
And I want Mr. Reed to hear it, if nobody else, because I know you work closely with Ashley and CDC. When it comes to rehabbing these homes and the building is coming up. We have something before us that we won't get again. And I'm not sure how long Michael Smith is going to be over AmeriCorps. They go around the country helping Habitat, build homes, refurbish everything. If we had a place to house some of these people, they pay these volunteers. But we need to do our due diligence. I mean, our armory could have been a perfect, I'm gonna always throw that out there. Armory. But it should be being fixed, worked on right now, that the weather is getting nicer. It's sad and very unfortunate that my husband and I purchased a home back in late 20s. And just last year, out of all these years, we waited for somebody at the city to come and find whose responsibility it was with this lead line or the water hookup. And we're about to lose this, but it's the perfect place that would house.
Could you look into that and find out, get some more information for us?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
I think it's a perfect opportunity, perfect place, real big.
I'll change the subject a little bit so I can get some clarity about the master plan. Took me quite a while to read the final copy. It had been approved by the full body before I got a chance to read the final copy. I mean, go completely through it. When I recognized a couple of things, and I sent to the clerk to send to Paul. His name Paul?
Mr. Lippens, the consultant.
Yeah, Mr. Lippens. And one of them was that the Carl Brown Incubator Center was left completely out of the master plan. They put a picture of it under housing, but no mention of it at all. So I wanted the clerk to touch him, and so a month went past and I touched him myself and I got no response. So I'm going to ask the chair, where do I go next to make sure that such an important facility, although it's been neglected for 5 or 6 years now, but it is still our asset, and I would like to see it put in the brownfield and any other thing that we need. Mr. Little probably has something to straighten me out
I
on.
was gonna refer you back to
Those dollars that we're about to lose.
We are looking for funding to try to rehabilitate that facility to use it for what it was intended. That building, as I recall, it was somewhere in the neighborhood of over $2 million to build. And it is built in a special way to be able to handle light and heavy business industrial activity. The hallways are wide enough, the entrances into the separate units are wide enough, the floors are strong enough. You can run these carts up and down the floors that have the high lifts and so forth. That's something that you don't have many of in the community. I don't know of any of them. In fact, the triangular building over here was the last building I knew that had the kind of strength that could handle that kind of thing, but of course, it wasn't designed for that. But we're gonna be pursuing funding to try and resolve all the issues that there are with that building and try to put it back into use as an incubator for small businesses.
Okay, that's really inspiring. So that means we're gonna put some effort into putting mice control and any other thing that we can do to protect it. Because what we've not done is protect that building over the last 5 to 6 years.
Exactly. And now the condition it's in, it just has to be completely redone. Internally, HVAC system has to be replaced. We've got mold issues that have to be addressed in it, a number of them. And I don't mean any, when I say this, but if mice is probably the least of the problems we gotta worry about that building.
Sure. So when I look at Justice 40 and the initiative and all the monies and the avenues that we have to serve our predominantly Black community and what that facility was there for, can you imagine creating 15 small businesses out of a building like that that take care of at least 15 people and their families? So I just like to see us put an effort into getting some money. We could take that air condition and go retro, go solar, we can do so much, but we have to ask right now because there's where the money is. And that's what I consider a shovel-ready project. All we have to do is go and say, well, let's put some solar power. Let's make this building
I'd like
in
to
advance.
add a little something.
Yes, sir.
We have not done the rezoning yet. So, and city commissioners can make changes to the plan anytime they really want to. So there's no restrictions preventing you all from doing all the things that you're talking about.
Well, this is the first time that Mr. Little told me that there was some interest. I'm glad to hear that, but I really want to see Mr. Little. I would really want to see some emphasis on that project because of what it could serve the people with.
Are these other comments having to do with what was on the agenda? Because we can adjourn this meeting
Well,
and
you might be
discuss
able
at depth on the other issues.
You may be able to answer this question for me because I wish that he would give us an update on, because I don't know where it stands with the master plan, the old modern plastics. Because she just touched base on something that the CHIPS Act will fix. The funding for CHIPS Act should fix that building down there. Paw.
We'll certainly be knocking on every door that's available to see what we can do to get the money to do, that building.
There was one more issue. I think it's South Bend that has a Sears and Roebuck type catalog of buildings that have been pre-approved. This is something that we also wanted to look at, that we need to go ahead and begin to work on that. And I was gonna suggest that the planning commission have a subcommittee to work with the city, with housing, so that we can take a closer look at how we could do that.
In my research, and I do a lot of it, and I've been reading a lot of what this Justice 40 thing is all about. It's more than, I mean, it was an initiative that was put forth, but it's for us to actually make this thing work for our community. I see every other community getting all of these funds, and I'm like, what are we doing wrong? We're not doing exactly what you just said for one, Mr. Reed.
It's not that you're doing anything wrong.
No,
Um,
we're not acting at all or fast enough.
Okay, I'm glad you said it. I didn't know how to put it out there
Well,
real nice,
I'm a
but
realist.
there it is. Commissioner Hensel.
I have a question about the zoning ordinance update. Have we heard anything about
We
the
have
grant?
not. No, we have not, and I'm going to be calling MEDC this week to see if they can tell me what's going on with that. What he's referring to, we submitted a grant for $50,000 to cover the cost of doing the rezoning necessary to bring our zoning in line with the master plan. But on the other topic that you mentioned, we are actually doing all of that, and in some instances more than we can. Proportionately for our size, a lot of cities believe we're getting a lot more than our share. But nevertheless, we're still knocking on the doors and trying to do what's necessary. As a matter of fact, the rest of this week, I'm working on requests for congressional allocations to see if we can get something out of that. But Justice 40 is applied and received differently across the federal government. For instance, working with the Corps of Engineers, they said it's a priority and they're doing everything they can to assist us in terms of the work that they're doing. And we're not having to fight and pull nails yet. Some of the others, like the business with broadband, saying it doesn't apply. So it's not being helpful to us at all. Some other agencies are lukewarm toward it and trying to do something. There's no real follow-up from the upper level as to what these agencies are doing in terms of that. So the directors and leadership of each agency is making the determination as to just how serious, strongly they want to push Justice 40.
I'll get back to you shortly about a subcommittee and how we want to structure it and what our duties and responsibilities will be. Okay. Okay, I make the motion that we adjourn.
Second,
Motion is made and supported. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Hensel,
Yes?
Assistant Manager Little,
yes?
Chairman Reed.
Yes.
Motion carried.